Ciao ragazzi, Bruno here for Interworldwide. I have not had a morning like that. I'm on to number 4 or 5 cafe this morning, and I have had phone calls from all over the world, but none more important than the phone call I received from our man Anthony, your regular Interworldwide face here. And he said to me, Bruno, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. And I'm here doing whatever I want, because this is something that we have not experienced in a long time. And we may have made the final 3 years ago, but it wasn't like this. The road to the final was much more straightforward, a bit more simpler. And I rushed, created everything, and then realized that the description said 13 game thriller, 13 goal thriller. 13 goal thriller. What a game. Now, so far this Champions League, Inter have only trailed, I think, 3 times or 4 times after today, for a total of 17 minutes across the entire competition. Now, I don't know how to go about this, so I'm going to run through some of the comments. But Inter from Yuha, I believe, Carlos, Il Grande Inter, Calvin Hicks, Mighty Mo, this is Inter. Yes, I love that Spartan reference. I am going to generate an AI image of Martinez kicking off Lamal and having that beautiful footage put up there, because yes, this is Inter. Paki, sempre Inter. Yes, never write us off. Who says we had an easy run now? I don't think anyone's thinking that anymore. I'm just gonna pull up Inter's Champions League run thus far, and you can't really justify if they've had an easy run, because the teams that we've faced. So we started the competition off against Manchester City, and we know the force that they are. We had a draw with them. There were a couple of simpler fixtures. Then there was the fixture against Arsenal. We won. RB Leipzig. We lost in that fixture against Leverkusen to a 90th minute goal. We beat Monaco. We beat the apparent giant killers in Feyenoord. And what I respect about that fixture against Feyenoord, where we beat them in both legs, is that Inter still had Scudetto and Coppa Italia to play for. Whereas Feyenoord were given the week prior to each fixture off domestically to focus on that. So credit to them. We beat Bayern Munich, and now we've got Barcelona. So Bayern Munich just lifted the trophy for the Bundesliga. Barcelona just won the Copa del Rey and looking to lift the trophy. Manchester City, I think, won 6 titles in a row in England. And Arsenal have been phenomenal contenders over the last couple of years. Leverkusen ruined Bayern Munich's title run and ended their streak last year. So these aren't easy teams. So, and you can only beat the teams that are in front of you. Mattia, as always, yes, everyone, hit that like button. Yes, we did it. Can't believe it. I still can't believe it, but we did it. My morning's been full of phone calls and investigations. It's going to cost me about 1,700 Australian dollars, which is about 2,500 euro. I think. I don't remember. It's too early for these calculations to get to Munich. I just got to see if we can get that. I will not survive this club into my older age, but you know what? It's moments like these that make all of those moments matter. One of the all-time great putts are Inter-style wins. Yes, it is. Taremi, the Yamal stopper. If you have come over from Uncle Sharma's channel, you would have seen he criticized the midfield. I also want to criticize the midfield. We'll get to that. But it wasn't, we, unlike Barcelona, weren't relying on one individual. And collectively, as a unit, they were fantastic. Jonathan, thank you, Cugino, for the $20 super chat. We are in the final, all the ups and downs, but that's why we love this club. Yes, Forza Inter. This is why we have fallen in love with this club. This is why we support them through thick and thin, through sickness and in health, until death do us part. Because just like your wife, you're married to this club. So I could say a lot more, but I know my wife will randomly check in on this channel and see a video, and I don't want to be in the doghouse. Taremi is a soldier. Debbie, nice to see the Kerr Mafia in the house here. Yes, yeah, I'm meant to be at work too. We are in the final. We are not good. We are amazing. No, we are Inter. That's what we are. Inter were 11-1 a year ago to reach the final. I've collected my bet. Happy as a pig. The faith was there from the start. Can't prepare for this crazy. No, you cannot. So, Debbie, yes, less chance the wife will kill me. I want to throw something out to the chat because this is a question that I think will be asked a lot. Who would you want to take on in the final? Arsenal or PSG? I am going to give you my opinion. I will then turn to the chat. I'm going to give you my opinion and why. And then I will turn to the chat. But I don't care who we play. Because at the end of the day, we've beaten Arsenal already this season. And in the same essence, we've also had PSG, who were about to complete an invincible season in France, but lost their last two, I believe. So effectively, we are not. We shouldn't be worried about who we're going to face. We've beaten Bayern Munich. We've beaten um, Barcelona, drawn with Manchester City. We've had those results go our way already. Arsenal are your very hot and cold team. You don't know which one's going to show up. No one predicted that first leg against Real Madrid and the way it would shape. Um, and in the same essence, PSG are such a new team that you don't know how they're going. But I think that I would rather face Arsenal. And the simple reason for that is that if Arsenal aren't big gang team, they tend to not be able to get across that line. But not just that, the defensive aspect of PSG is what worries me, because this is a game that could really go to penalties. And I don't know if you've seen Donnarumma in penalty shootouts as of late. I think since 2020, you could really argue that guy is just phenomenal. And under pressure, it doesn't get to him. Unlike his headline, which is receding, his skills are excelling. So I think ultimately, irrespective of who qualifies tomorrow, the team of Inter can really, really just show us. So look, couple I will take on both Fusion God, Arsenal. My mind's fried. Too hard of a decision to make, especially say exactly give me whoever. PSG, like the beta version of Barca, yes, but no. And they're back onto this point. Hakimi, Donnarumma. I agree we can take on either, but honestly, PSG, see, they're the reason I don't want to face PSG, especially Donnarumma, because he's just a younger version of Summer. Flick just said the ref favored us in every call. So salty. Barcelona can cry as much as they want. Arsenal will bottle it. Too big for them. But I think Inter this hot can take on anyone. Look, let's go back 3 years when Inter faced Manchester City in the final. And it was in that fixture that Inter showed the world that they're not walkovers. And I think everyone should understand that this Inter team has all the elements of a Champions League winning team. You've got a Copa America top goal scorer and winner in Lautaro, as well as World Cup winner. You've got this team who have been guided by Inzaghi through some really tough times, and some players who are feeling really low at the moment, and him basically is we've had some really shit times with this team over the last couple of years and the highs of last year, but anything is possible, and the grinta in this team. So yeah, we've got 2 World Cup winners. So exactly. I love you. I love you too. I wish you were here with me. I wish you were here, because this second Stelle will turn into a UCL trophy shortly. Yes, I love you. I miss you. I want you here. But big up to all of those in the chat. Let's go through. I'm starting to lose idea as to how, if I share screen. Okay. While I get that up, while I get that up, I just want your guys' opinion in regards to who was your man of the match. Because for me, today, it would have had to have been Sommer. I don't know who they've given it to. based on this. They're saying Dumfries again. Yes, definitely. Summer, Acerbi. Where did I get my long sleeve shirt? I will hook you up later. Yeah, Summer, Acerbi. I would have to say Matthias Sammer got the official man of the match. But yes, we understand Sammer got it. But as Inter fans, I can say Dumfries stepped up phenomenally and did something that we have not seen for a while. And not just that, you've got Acerbi, centre back, centre forward. Don't know what role he was playing in the 93rd minute, but I, 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 I just it's this team and the way that this club has been lined up to get there. So let's get into it. Let's get into the particulars because we've got time. So I just want to get in there. So here it is. 4-3, 7-6 on aggregate. I thought at 2-0 Inter, it was still classified as 0-0. How does it look on there? Here. Yes. Here we go. I thought at 2-0 Inter, it was more of a 0-0. It was one of those instances where we really didn't have the confidence, and Martinez coming into the squad was such a benefit. But with that being said, was he ready? I think his performance today showed he really wasn't. But Il Capitano came out, did what he had to do. The penalty on the stroke of halftime would definitely have been perfect. But again, this Barcelona team, you cannot write them off. So Martinez and Hakan scoring in the first half. Then in the space of 6 minutes, Garcia and Olmo came in and really applied the pressure. And that second 45 was essentially all Barcelona. All Barcelona. And I say second 45 because by the 48th minute, it was all Acerbi. And he scored that 93rd minute goal. Beautiful center forward goal. Not sure what he was doing there, but he was there. And that's exactly why I love him. And then Fratesi capped that off in the 99th minute. Let's go into some of the stats here. You could see the momentum. Inter really didn't have much momentum throughout the fixture, especially after conceding that first goal, scoring that first goal. Barcelona put the pressure on, and 71 to 29% possession, which really shows the quality that Inter have displayed over both legs. They had 22 shots on goal, but I don't think there was 22 shots on target, and we'll go into all the stats because that's what we do here. So 7 shots on target to Inter to their 10, 4 big chances to 6. Big chances missed. They missed 4 big chances, which is a credit to them. It means they put it all around. This statistic here, the devil's number, but this statistic here, accurate passes, they had 458 more accurate passes than Inter. They had that correlates to their percentage, but they were playing the ball but could not find a way in. They could not find a way in. And they really defensively tackles won. Inter won 70% of their tackles compared to the 43 clearances. And this figure here, keeper saves, Sommer on 7 saves, really talks about how how effective he has been. Let's go back up here to the lineup. My phone has not stopped. Now, this is how they lined up, and the one concern Inter had this entire fixture was Barcelona's number 19 in Yamal. Um, and it was interesting to say the least. But Remy had him covered. If we look at the ratings here, FootMob gave Dumfries their man of the match. Understood, really, with the 2 assists that led to the goals. But with that being said, Sommer has kept us in this competition in regards to multiple legs across this entire competition. I think that we had some great performances across the board and some disappointing performances across the board. Bastoni's yellow card was probably giving me Cellini on Saka vibes 2020 Euro final. It was just, I know I'm getting a yellow. Let me throw the ball away. Let me waste more time. And Acerbi's yellow card was, I'm celebrating. Let me show the world I've still got it. But performance-wise, I'll start with the defense. Can't criticize the defense. Defense were great, especially when you're up against a team like this Barcelona. They have been phenomenal this year. And I think that you got to give credit to the defense who picked up what they could, but then our attack translated it and said, well, all we got to do is concede less goals than we scored. And that's what they've done. And this insight here, Barcelona haven't lost in 5 matches. Well, technically, this isn't a loss, but you're gone. DiMarco, I think, is just burning out. His performance wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. He was replaced by Carlos Augusto in the 55th minute. With that being said, Carlos Augusto has had defensively is phenomenal compared to DiMarco. DiMarco sort of backs off when there's an attacker trying to. He tries too long to calculate, whereas Augusto's like, I'm getting in there. Hakan converted the penalty. Fantastic on that front. Barella, let's see if they've got his specific stats. He played 120 minutes, total shots 3, 2 on target, I believe, based on this. His passing was horrid. As a centre mid in a game like this, anything below 80% passing is horrible. But when you've got a team like Barcelona who are fighting for their life, you can't really pass effectively when they're constantly on your ass. So he won 2 of 3 tackles. Ground Jules won, pretty piss poor effort, but you can't criticize him. Martinez came off in the 70th minute. He had the one shot on goal for a goal, 100% shot rate. But this man here, our Capitano, essentially has shown the world that we are here and here to stay. And we're not going to go down without fighting. Sorry, I'm stumbling. The caffeine's starting to hit me quite heavy now. But this Barcelona team looked phenomenal. And when you can substitute a player in the 90th minute like Ferran and bring on a player like Lewandowski, you just know this Inter team needs to have their shit if they need to have their shit in line. So I think overall we're looking fantastic as a team. Let's go to the comments. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Yes, don't forget to like this video. Criticism aside, let's stop sharing there. Criticism aside, this team has been phenomenal across Europe, across Italy, um, and for a team to be competing on such a high level and still be involved in 3 competitions up until I think it was, um, and competitively, you can't criticize them. And essentially, I can't say Napoli slipping up now, but if they do, I think Inter's just going to pounce, especially with the way they performed this morning. Overall, I know Anthony's going to be doing a video, so I don't want to take too much of his flame away from him. But overall, we're looking at a team that isn't the best on paper in the eyes of the world, but they have the fight and the dog in them. So I think that up until 3 weeks ago, we had the Coppa, we had the Champions League, we had the Scudetto, and we were fighting for all of it. And to stay competitive for so long and pull out performances like we did against Barcelona and Bayern Munich, you need to have that textbook Italian Inter Grinta. And that's something we've had. And can I ask Anthony, I've got on the back burner a very critical video that I am going to release, and it's not so much of Inter, but how can I release it when we have a 3-3 draw with Barcelona last week, and then this week a win, and then the Serie A win? But that is going to be coming up eventually when it does happen. But we need to grab this by the teeth. We need to win this. And the last thing I'll put is Oaktree, our current owners, are investors. They want to make money. And what better way to make money than to sell your club potentially to Arab purchasers? A club which on paper shouldn't be where they are, making Champions League finals and potentially winning one. And ideally, it's quite appealing. And once we do get an investor of that size, the club's limits are essentially limitless. But I know Anthony's not going to do it when he comes on stream, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, it felt like all hope was lost at 3-2. Especially the way the Inter team looked, the fatigue on the players' faces. Thuram looked like he was going to drop and start crawling on the pitch. He was that tired. But Anthony, let's read some chats. I just said game over, my anti-jinx. But Anthony takes his anti-jinx to the next level. Biggest bottle jobs on planet Earth. Effed up 3 trophies in a fortnight. We are the Arsenal of Italy. To end this campaign with no trophies is humiliating. And you know what? I'm not too proud to admit, but I felt the same way. We were the biggest bottle jobs on planet Earth. We bottled against Bologna. We bottled against AC Milan. We look like we bottled against Barcelona, right? And it really hit home that this is the feeling that we are going to experience all again. And this video would have been so much different. And then no more than 3 minutes later, we scored the goal. And both our reactions changed. And of all people, we have a 4th striker next season, a Cherby. And that's Anthony's reply. And honestly, he's done better than Correa. And Correa is actually a striker by definition. But that is the roller coaster we have been on. And that's a little bit of an insight. I don't want to go too in depth, but that's a little bit of an insight to the emotions that we were feeling. So I can only imagine the emotions the world has been feeling and our supporters. But we're in a final. We're going to Munich. What happened the last time an Italian team won the semi-final in extra time and then went on to play the final in Germany? Because I think we rewind all the way back to 2006 World Cup semi-final against Germany. And it was all about Zidane's France in that final. And Materazzi was both the hero and the villain. And that is where Italy was. They were the underdogs going into that. And I can guarantee you, whether PSG, whether Arsenal, or whether somehow Real Madrid have an appeal and they make the final and eliminate both for some reason, Inter will always be the underdog. And it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter how, but we are in the final. And monetarily, let's Google how much does Inter Milan make in the Champions League 2025. Okay. Inter Milan. I think there's so many different numbers popping up. So every club gets a fee of 18.6 million. So I'm gonna get my calculator out because this is gonna be fun. So we start with 18.6 million. All right. Each win in the league phase is worth 2.1 million. So 6-1 plus 2.1. How many league wins did we win in the league? That's I'm starting to lose my thing here. So table 8 games, we won 6. So 2.1 times 6 is 12.8. So 12.6. 12.6 plus 700 for each draw. So we had one draw, so plus 0.7. And we accumulated 13.3 over the group phase. So 18.6, delete. My mind, I'm in accounting, and this is plus 13.3. Then we move on to the knockout stage. Because we qualified, we add 13 million. So we've got plus 13 mil. Excluding revenue and results on the excluding revenue and sponsorship and broadcasting rights, Inter have made approximately 72.3 million euro. With that being said, it's a lot higher once you include the broadcasting rights and the revenue from sponsorships and stadium and all of that. Like that San Siro was packed out today. So Inter versus Barcelona reactions. Let's go. I don't want to see YouTube. In Australia, they've titled this Absolute Madness. This fixture would be one of the greatest Serie A fixtures. Not Serie A fixtures, Champions League semi-finals fixtures ever. Where's our friends post on X? Let's go to X. Let's log on to there. I know Uncle Shams did do this, and I haven't even logged in, so sign in. Yeah. Come on. This thing's taking forever. I don't freaking know. Look, the overall reaction is Inter deserve this. Inter deserve this. Taremi played the game of his life. Thank you for joining us, Yamal. I appreciate your performance, your greatness. And no, this game was worse than Anfield. But do you know what? At the end of the day, every pundit from Alex Ferguson all the way to Thierry Henry has said that this over 2 legs has been the greatest Champions League playoff ever. And everyone was saying the first game was the best fixture they've ever seen in Champions League history. So the caliber that both Inter and Barcelona both brought to the table has been phenomenal, entertaining, world class. I think all the goals last week were just highlight reels. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And I feel that it is the caliber of Inter that we haven't seen in a very long time. And they've just flown under that radar. And big credit to Barcelona. They were worthy competitors. We cannot deny that. But I think over 2 legs, Inter have been the far superior team over this entire Champions League competition. Inter have been the better off team. Champions League semi-final, Champions League. Come on. Follow matches, all matches. I'm trying to pull up Inter's. Oh, damn it. By team. No, we'll go to Arsenal. Where's not Arsenal? Internazionale. Okay, so let's represent this. Here's our by team. So here's our knockout stage. 2-0 Feyenoord, 2-1 against Feyenoord. We won both legs there. 2-1 away to Bayern, and then 2-2 at home, followed by 3-3 and 3-3 and that extra time goal. I think that those fixtures there is what set us up for Inter to win this. And then in the group stage, Manchester City, we got that draw. And that at that time, that Manchester City was still the best team in the world, right? You cannot take anything away from that. And then we did the job against this team. Not going to butcher their name. And we showed them we're not here to muck around. And we got the 1-0 win against Young Boys. Those were 2 3-point results we expected. Arsenal were flying high at the time, and we got the win there. RB Leipzig were flying high, and we got the win there. Bayer Leverkusen, that game there was a painful fixture for me to watch. It was that 90th minute goal that really hurt us. And really made it go down to the last day of the group stage. But we got the game there. And then you had Sparta Prague and Monaco. So Inter has, other than Leverkusen, have beaten every team that they've faced this competition, which is phenomenal. Now, if we change this to Arsenal, they beat PSV Eindhoven, pretty much a walk in the park for them. The more impressive aspect of it, they belted Real Madrid over 2 legs, 5-1 on aggregate, and they lost the first leg to PSG. So, and even their group stage appearances, they drew with Atalanta. They beat PSG in the group stage. They beat Shakhtar. They lost to us, but then they beat Monaco like we did. They won 5-1 against Sporting, Dinamo, and Giorna. So, again, they've done what they need to do. And then we've got the last remaining team in Paris Saint-Germain. They played Brest over 2 legs and essentially won 10-0. They knocked out, in my opinion, Champions League favorites alongside Real Madrid in Liverpool. Then they scrape through against Aston Villa. And they've beaten PSG. So you can't argue that they have had an easy run too. They have not. It's been competitive. And I think this new Champions League format has shown the world how competitive this team can be. Inter Milan. Come on. Let's look at our fixtures, upcoming fixtures. We have Torino, Lazio, and Como. Those are the last three fixtures of the season. Now, with that being said, the Champions League final is scheduled for in Australia. I think it's the 2nd of June, 1st of June, which is the 31st of May, I think. I don't know. I was looking at tickets, but didn't really pay attention. So it's either the 30th or the 1st, the 31st or the 1st of June, something like that. So Inter have, if we look at this, Torino, Lazio, Como, Arsenal or PSG at the start of June, followed by the Club World Cup in the US. They're not getting a break. And that's where my video will take us. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. There are 40 of you still here in the chat. It's been a beautiful 45 minutes chatting with you all. The excitement is there. I wanted to unleash a bit more, but I feel I am going to lose my voice and I need to get through today's day at work. Anthony will be jumping on and Anthony will be running through everything and you will see his passion live. And then we will be doing a Torino fixture recap coming up, and that there will be interesting to see. But Fratelli, what a game. W, you said it there. Forza Inter. Yamal Taremi killed you completely. And thank you, Yamal. I know it's tough, but you've joined us here. And yeah, there are some comments I didn't get to. Sommer and Dumfries, 2 goals, 4 assists over 2 legs. Yes, over 2 legs. Fantastic. In my opinion, Sommer single-handedly could win player of the competition for Inter. We will see. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. And we would love to have you all in here. Yes, absolute cinema. The scenes were wild. I have held back today. I've held back this morning because after that final whistle went off, I ran around my suburb multiple times, realizing how cold it was, and had to then get some clothes on. Not that I was doing it nude. I had no shirt on. I had to get some clothes on because here in Sydney, in a frosty morning, we overcame the Catalan Giants. Thank you, ragazzi, for joining us on Inter Worldwide. We love you all. We will speak to you soon. Keep an eye out for any videos coming up. And don't forget to like and subscribe this stream. Forza Inter Worldwide, and Forza, and thank you to you all. Have a great day, and ciao.